Hey y'all, I'm Mike, and today I'm going to be talking about 3 of the best bodyweight exercises that you can do. So the 3 bodyweight exercises that I have for you guys are the push-up, the squat, and the plank. Now these exercises are great because they're able to build functional strength and because they've been around forever. Now the push-up is a great exercise because there are so many variations that target specific muscles, and primarily it targets your triceps, your biceps, your chest, and your core. Now to do the push-up correctly, we first want to focus on hands placement. A neat trick is to bring your arms out from your side in front of you and then bring them back in. That will generally give you an area of placement. Now when you do the push-up, you want to make sure that you retract your shoulder girdle and don't roll your shoulders forward. Tighten your abs so your hips will move forward and keep a straight line down that back. As far as elbow placement, you generally want to have your elbows anywhere from here or in. And the way I think about it is if you're going to push someone off of you, you wouldn't be out here. You really would be right here. Now, a good regression for this is the knee push-up. Now, the knee push-up is good for anyone that may be having trouble with the standard push-up, and doing these will generally help you ease your way into doing the standard push-up. Now, a good progression for the push-up is the single leg push-up. When you do the single leg push-up, it is harder for carrying that weight in the air and keeping the balance all on one foot. When you're doing the push-up, you want to keep the same technique, but when you lift the leg, you want to make sure that when you lift it up, it is parallel with your back. Now the squat is another great exercise because it hits almost every muscle in your lower body. It targets the quads, glutes, hamstrings, and hips. The squat is a good exercise because it develops your balance, stabilization, and coordination. And again, this exercise is good because of the many variations that it has to challenge yourself or to target specific muscles. Now when you do the squat, you want to have your legs shoulder width apart, toes slightly pointed out, and you want to keep all the weight on your heels as you go down. In doing so, you also want to keep a big chest as well. Now as you go down, you want to move your hips back, keeping the weight on your heels as well. When you do the squat, you don't want to have your chest forward, and as well as you go down, you don't want to carry all that weight onto your toes because that can cause injury. And as you can see here, you don't want to have your knees going in as well. Now regression to use is using a box, or in this case a chair. Now when doing this regression, it's typically for those that have trouble with balancing with the standard squat. And you still want to keep those same techniques as I mentioned, and in doing so, if you're doing correctly, you should be able to let go of the chair and still have balance. Now a good progression for this exercise is the split stance squats. Now when you do the split stance squats, you want to have your quad parallel to the ground while keeping a 90-degree at the knee. Now for the plank, it is an isometric exercise and it's good for targeting your core and the muscles in your lower back. Now when doing the plank, you want to make sure your elbows or your hands are straight right underneath your shoulder. You also want to contract your abs and your core, keeping a straight line from your shoulders down to your legs. And if that becomes too easy, obviously a progression for this is to move on to your hands. Well, that's all I got for this video, guys. I hope you guys learned some sort of new technique or any regressions or progressions. And make sure you guys smack that like button, comment if you guys want to see anything else, or subscribe.